Hello everybody, it's EDS here, bringing you part 2 of my Pokemon White 2 Let's Play. Thank you guys for joining me today on a wonderful video gaming adventure. So, if you guys caught the last video, you know we did the first bits of the game, went to Colosseum Ranch, took care of, I guess, saving, quote-unquote, one of this couple's herdiers. Got to know a little bit of backstory about our rival, and that's mostly about it. Got our starter, went to the first town, that kind of stuff. So, also, in between videos, I went ahead and I went with PK Hex, and I used that like I use for all my Pokemon Let's Plays. I gave perfect IVs and perfectly distributed EVs to each of my party members at right now. I went max special attack with investment in attack and speed for Samoraiki. I went max attack and special attack with a lonely nature for Purloin. I went max attack and speed with a naughty nature for Pidove. I went naughty because of the fact that Gust is the only offensive move it has right now, rather than going for Adamant, because Adamant would have diminished her special attack even further. I got an Adamant nature on the Sawaddle that I captured with max attack and speed. I did the same thing with Lillipup here, and I did a modest nature with max attack, or max special attack, and even distribution spread between both defensive stats for my little Marine. That's not the only thing that I did, though. I can go into my bag real quick. This is just kind of the way that I like to play Pokemon. I went ahead and as you can see, I put in, I gave myself maximum Ultra Quick and Dust Balls, since they are the most effective balls for catching the widest variety of Pokemon, especially Dust Balls, because of its 3.5 times catch rate when you are either in a cave or it is nighttime. The Quick Ball has a 4 or 5 times catch rate, I believe, on the first turn of battle, and the Ultra Ball just has a static 2 times catch rate in all scenarios. I also got unlimited Max Repels, simply because I don't want to have to go to a store to buy them later. I also went ahead and did the same thing with the 3 main healing items that almost every time I will play a game I will be using, and that is the Full Restore, the Max Elixir, which is very rare to come across in the games, normally, and the Max Revive, which is even rarer. The best equivalent to the Max Revive is actually not the regular Revive, but the Energy Root, which is the same thing as a Max Revive, but it lowers the Pokemon's happiness level when used. And it's also pretty expensive, about twice as expensive as a regular Revive, but a Revive only replenishes half of the Pokemon's total HP, whereas Max Revive's Energy Roots replace the entirety. Max Elixir is one of the PP restoration moves, or items rather. There is the Ether, which increases, or replenishes 10 PP for one move. There's the Max Ether, which replenishes all PP for one move. There's the Elixir, which replenishes 10 PP for all moves. And then there's the Max Elixir, which replenishes all PP for all moves. And then Full Restore, of course, recovers all health and repairs status conditions. The most valuable healing item in the game, for sure. I also went ahead and just splurged a little bit and gave myself every single TM in the game. I will leave a list on where you can find each TM. I will leave that in the description down below. However, and as a result of this, it also gave me all 6 of the HMs early. And normally, you're not supposed to have the 6 HMs early, because unlike in other generations, the HM's usage is not tied to a gym badge. So I can actually explore every area in the game that is accessible via the HMs right now, as soon as I teach something to someone. For now, I'll go ahead and give Samoraiki Surf, simply because it's a better move option than what I currently have with Water Gun. I'm also gonna throw Ice Beam on her. And I did change everything that wasn't female to female, so judge me if you want in the comments. That's just my preferred playstyle, I guess. Get rid of Water Sport for Ice Beam. And I reckon I'll do some other tutoring stuff later. Actually, hold on. I do want to do one thing for, one thing specifically for Mareep, since she is most likely going to be a final team member. I definitely got to give her Thunderbolt. Alright, so now we got to go a little bit back to the town here. where Alder is waiting for us. And he is going to test our mettle, so to speak. We need to go inside of this little house. For inside here, there are a couple youngsters. I love how they're just called girl and boy as well. Oh, goodness gracious. Haven't I been telling you just to enjoy Pokemon battles? So, please be their opponent. I'll show you what's cool about my Pokemon. Well, unfortunately, all you're packing is a monkey. And there's not much cool about a monkey. Die with Surf that I shouldn't have until the 5th gym. Really overpowered. It means I could probably take on the 1st gym without even needing to level up to frickin' evolve into a Duat. Which is typically the strategy I employ in most cases. I prefer to evolve my starter before I face the 1st gym. Ice Beam pretty much makes Pansage a frickin' joke as well. I am going to go and grab something though, because as you can see I do not have my the yawns start early today. Well, I say early, but it's already 9 o'clock at night. But anyway. So I gotta grab my Riolu. This little sequence here is just kind of neat for beginners. It just kind of gives you the basic idea of the rock, paper, scissors formula for Pokemon battles. I hate this guy. I know this is sudden, but nice to meet you. Now don't say anything, just take this. This is the Metal Box. People call him Mr. Metal. Do I know about competition called the Metal Rally? I do not. Whether you do or not, I'll explain it to you. Metal Rally is an event that evaluates various activities and trainers. So in commemoration of your participation, please take this medal. This guy, basically, I have never, in any playthrough of the Generation 5 games, ever completed the medal hunt. So basically, that guy will be in the Pokemon Center every time you do something that earns you a medal. It's literally achievement points. Like, literally achievements. And I guess that was something that was employed by Game Freak to kind of draw in some of the more PC-oriented game crowd, but it did not work. And you could probably guess as to why. Okay. I'm definitely gonna fucking... I already have it, like, out, but I'm gonna box it already, because I don't need Lillipup. I definitely need Riolu more than Lillipup. And speaking of Riolu, I also need to give him, her, it, whatever. I need to give her some moves. Now, like I said, I will leave a link in the description to Cerebee's page where you can find the locations of every single TM in the game if you want. But for the purposes of the Let's Play, I just wanted to get them all so I don't have to worry about it later. You know, while I'm sorting through stuff, give her Shadow Claw too. The downside to Riolu is that it doesn't have a lot of special moves. Now granted, Riolu is a physical attacker, but its evolution Lucario is primarily a dual sweeper, or a special attacker exclusively. So not being able to get both moves is kind of a drawback for me. Anything else I want to do right now? Nah. I'll wait until I evolve. So we have to go back and return to the gym. Although I think Alder's gonna... Yep, there it goes. Why do you keep going up there, dude? It's weird. Alright, what do you want? Excuse me, I forgot to tell you something important. First, take these. I don't have any room for orange berries, I gave myself unlimited berries. That's another thing I like to do sometimes. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put one of those berries onto my Pokemon. I'm going to put it on Samoraiki. I tend to go with a citrus. Another citrus. I could probably take him on right now, even though I'm technically really underleveled. just because of the hacking of the moveset and stuff. Now, the game does kind of want you to grind at the very beginning, and I usually don't, or I usually do that a lot. It's kind of frustrating sometimes, though. Whoops. There we go. Lucidia. We will become the champions one day. With the power of my Lucario, which I will receive soon enough. I might even receive her sooner than I think. If you can manage to get Riolu before you fight off against the first gym, I definitely recommend it. Simply because Lucario, if you can get a Riolu, and you can level it up until it gets Force Palm, you'll have a much better shot against the first gym. And if you can somehow manage the patience to evolve it into a Lucario before the first gym, which, trust me, is possible, it just takes a lot of work, then you will pretty much have absolutely no issues whatsoever with the gym, even if the Lucario is only level 7. Because of Lucario's steel typing, the normal gym pretty much can't really do anything to you. Lucario doesn't have stellar defenses, but its steel typing grants it a host of useful resistances. Alright, I think it's gym time. Is it gym time? I believe it is gym time. Hello, I'm Clyde, the guide for trainers who challenge Pokemon gyms. Thank you for taking on the gym. Take this to commemorate your debut. Some water. Pokemon gyms are facilities for testing trainers' abilities. Put simply, if you can defeat the gym leader, it means you are a really good trainer. If you run out of Pokemon that can fight during a Pokemon battle, you lose! So having a lot of Pokemon with you might work to your advantage. I don't know why I gave him that voice. He must be a challenger. Welcome to Aspertia City's Pokemon Gym. I'm Cheren, the gym leader. Well, maybe I'd better say that I just became the gym leader. More importantly, we need to prepare before welcoming you to the gym. We have a challenger. You two, take your places. If you can defeat these two, then I'll be your opponent. A very basic setup, but just defeat both the trainers and you challenge the leader. I do like that it is such a basic setup, though. Okay, so I am definitely under-leveled, but I'm also overpowered, so I'm not too concerned about it. I actually might evolve Lucario now. I don't need counter. Level 7. Level 8. This is the benefit of fighting a trainer that is much higher level than you. Like I mentioned in the previous video, it makes it a lot easier to level grind. Well, I guess it's not really easier to level grind, because technically the higher you are, the harder it is to grind. Which is precisely why Audino is, I think, so prevalent after the first gym. Nope, it didn't evolve. Okay. So I only have Riolu, which is actually kind of a good thing, because I think if I just had Lucario, that would just be completely unfair. I mean, even without cheat codes, this is still kind of unfair. Well, even without hacking, I guess you could call it. Level 10. Patrat. I'm gonna break your face. I'm gonna punch you in the face. I know it's like a karate chop animation, but I never quite understood that. Like, when I think of Brick Break... Actually, now that I think about it, that does make more sense. Because, like, you karate chop the brick in half. Alright, buddy. Tapping your foot to something. Just as this is your first gym challenge, this is my first Pokemon battle as a gym leader. Let's both do our best and have a battle we can be proud of. And then we get the first experience on how the music of fucking Pokemon Black and White 2 hits a lot of different... I've seen plenty of meme videos about it, and it's freaking true. Black and White 2 has probably one of the best soundtracks, if not the best soundtrack in the Pokemon series, and I will wholeheartedly stick to that philosophy. So I just one-hit KO'd his Patrat. That's totally fair. And it looks like Riolu's going to become higher level than the rest of his team. You know what? I'm going to throw Mareep out, see what happens. Probably going to get my butt kicked, but let's see. His Lillipup is level 13, so over double my level. And it is definitely faster. How much is Thunderbolt gonna do? Jack and shit, that's how much. Alright, well I'm gonna throw out a fodder. He's probably gonna kill me. Or he's gonna use work up again. Oh no, he's gonna attack me. Okay. Good. So send out my fodder. And I'll go with Samurai Ki. Because now it should be weak enough to take a full powered surf and die. That'll give my Mareep some much needed leveling. I don't need Thunder Shock since I have Thunderbolt, so. That battle has made me feel really glad you were my first challenger at the gym leader. I give you this in honor of the strength you and your Pokemon showed. The Basic Badge, and I believe that's actually what it's called. Yep, the Basic Badge. Here's your first gym badge, the Basic Badge. This is an important milestone. With this badge, Pokemon up to level 20 will obey you, including traded Pokemon. And I want you to take this. TM 483, which is for workup, which increases the attack and special attack of the user. In the Unova region, there are 8 Pokemon gyms and 8 gym badges. If you're a trainer, you could collect them all. That'll make it easier to fill the pages of the Pokedex as well. Alright, so yeah. Real quick thing about the, what did he say? Crap, I wasn't even paying attention half the time to that. Oh, that's right, Purloin is dead. Let's fix that. Damn it. I can't remember what he was talking about, but he mentioned something that I was going to go more in depth. Oh, that's right, the traded thing. It doesn't matter if your Pokemon is level 100, as long as it has your trainer ID and your secret ID, which you can't find out, obviously, without using a hacking tool or PK hacks, for example. But as long as it has your information, like, the name can be different anyway. Like, this has to be the same trainer ID and secret ID. As long as that information is the same, it doesn't matter if the Pokemon is level 100, it still won't have an issue with, following your commands. Can I just say that I freaking love the character designs of Pokemon Black and White 2 as well? I love the female character design for the main protagonist. She's just so freaking adorable, and I love the hair buns. Also, Professor Juniper is probably the most attractive of all the Pokemon professors. And that's not me being a horny teenager or anything, it's just objectively speaking. I mean, Professor Oak is a dude, Professor Elm is a dude, Professor Birch is a dude, Professor frickin' Rowan is a dude, 6th generation was Professor Sycamore, who's also a dude, 7th generation was Kukui, who's also a dude, and the 8th generation was, okay, an old woman. So yeah, unfortunately, that would actually make it obligatory. I guess if you're into guys, you could say that Professor Sycamore was probably the most objectively attractive, since I don't know, because he's the youngest of the Pokemon professors. Maybe Kukui. I'm not judging, for that matter. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not into men. I like my girls. That sounded a lot creepier than I intended. Alright. So, now that we're at this point, I do believe that shaking grass will start to appear. So we gotta go up again this way. Once we get to around here, there we go. Bianca will show up and she will tell us about shaking grass. Well, more specifically, she'll tell us about the habitat list. Habitat list, you can check which Pokemon are in the area. It's a mode in the Pokedex. To use it, open up the Pokedex and tap the habitat list button on the lower left of the touchscreen. Next, pick the area you want to see. You can see all the Pokemon that live in that area. It even tells you which ones you've already caught. Would you like to hear that again? No. I have a tip for you. When you're walking down a path, you'll sometimes see rustling grass. If you go to that spot, well, I'll let the rest be a surprise. So the rustling grass is almost exclusively used for fighting Audino. Audino is a Generation 5 Normal-type Pokemon that was pretty much created exclusively to be fodder. Because of the unique method in which Pokemon level up and gain experience in Pokemon Black and White 2, a method for which to grind easier had to be created since they removed the VS Seeker, which had been a staple since Generation 2. Or at least some variant of it since Gen 2. So with the removal of the VS Seeker, the only thing that could be done logically was to allow you to fight wild Pokemon in order to make it easier time to level up your team. However, because of the unique battling system, in which case, or the unique experience gaining system, I should say, because of that specific system, it makes it harder and harder to actually grind the higher the level you get. As a result of this, they created Audino with its own unique experience growth, where it gains vastly superior experience to every other Pokemon in the game. So, literally, Audino is only created to fix a problem with the inherent difference mechanic of XP growth. It's one of the few Pokemon that I know of that were created specifically to counter a counterbalance in the actual mechanics of the game. I mean, that is what the Dark and the... that is what the Dark and Steel types were created for in Gen 2, and the Fairy type in Gen 6, but I digress. Alright. Now, unfortunately, there's like 2 obligatory battles before I get to the next town. Thankfully, they're pretty easy. It's this girl, and then there's another lady up above here. Die with Thunderbolt! I refuse to accept your inadequacy. I don't need Cotton Spore. It feels really refreshing to go back to some of the older generations, especially Gen 5, because of how much memories I really have with Gen 5. Around the time Pokemon Black and White came out, was around also the time that I started getting heavily ingrained in the Pokemon series as a whole. Now, granted, I've always been a Pokemon fan. I've been a Pokemon fan since, God, I was 4, I believe? So, nigh on 22 straight years of Pokemon fandom. But I didn't start playing the Pokemon games themselves until Pokemon Stadium, when my mom had received a Nintendo 64 from an old friend of hers, and not knowing what to do with it, gave it to me. Of course, I played the hell out of Pokemon Stadium and then later Stadium 2, but my main series of Pokemon journey started with Pokemon XD and Colosseum. And yes, I do consider those games to be mainstream because of the battle formula in them. However, as I believe I mentioned in my Pokemon Emerald Let's Play, Generation 3 was where I got my proper start into the Pokemon series. More specifically with Pokemon Emerald. Now, discounting Pokemon Emerald, the Pokemon games that really made me cemented as a mega fan was actually Platinum. And around the same time that I got Platinum was around the time that Black and White were being circulated. Or at least prior to their introduction. Pokemon Black and White, specifically White, were the first Pokemon games that I ever bought on release day. Every other Pokemon game I received months or even years after the games officially came out. And Pokemon White has definitely cemented itself as one of my best, and, well, one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played because of how many hours of my life I spent on it. My mom was thankful enough to frickin' actually let me have Pokemon White 2 on release day, which I gotta say was just absolutely awesome, and I played the hell out of it to the point of literally shirking other responsibilities. But it was still fun. So Gen 5 was kind of like my big leap into Pokemon. Because this is also, well, later in Gen 4. It was more like late Gen 4. But Generation 4 and 5 is when I started really getting into the competitive scene of Pokemon. And that's what really cemented me as a mega fan. But anyway, enough about my history ramblings. I can always talk about that in another video. Right now I'm going to show you guys real quick about the massive experience difference when fighting Audinos. So if you ever see a shaking grass patch, you gotta go right for it. And most of the time, it's an Audino. Now this Audino is actually on par with the level of my Marie. So I will still gain a considerable amount of experience. Audino also doesn't have a lot of damaging moves. It mostly possesses status moves. As a result, it's actually pretty much intended to be killed en masse. Which is really sad for the thing, because it is freaking adorable, and I really do like it. But notice, 1,015 experience points for an equal level wild encounter. Literally enough to evolve my Mareep from level 13. So now I'll have a Flaffy before the second gym even arrives because of a single Autonote. Now I'll try to get somebody else as well to do that. I could probably pull in, let me see what else I can do. Let me go with Sewaddle, just to show you guys the true extent of this difference. Now, if you have a Lucky Egg and your Pokemon is traded, that experience growth is multiplied tremendously. Also, when you're doing this, and you don't have the ability to go on the water, be careful if you get the water over there in the upper right caught in the, I guess, the camera, quote-unquote, because you will actually end up having a camera spot over there as well. Okay, this one's level 10, so I'm not going to get as much experience growth out of this, but it should still illustrate the point. Or I can die. I'm being bitch slapped over and over again. Bug Bite! Bug Bite's always a good move, because I can eat your berry. So this actually might take a while because of the level difference and the fact that Sewaddle doesn't have anything good for attacking this thing with. Also, Growl can be annoying, which is always good. It's really tough to train physical attackers against it because it does have Growl and later on gets access to Charm. So your definitely better bet is using special attackers against these Autonote. But if what you're training is pretty much a team nothing with physical attackers with no fighting types to speak of, then you're kind of screwed. Thankfully, though, it just takes a few grind sessions, and there you go, 927. But that's also because the level was so much lower. That should still be enough to level me up 2 or 3, maybe 4 times if I'm lucky. Yep, there goes 4. Am I going to get 5? Almost 5. So yeah, probably the best method to grind. Just be aware that if you are trying to EV train your Pokemon, EV train them before grinding against Autonotes. Because if you do it afterwards, well, you're going to get nothing but HP EVs. Alright. So actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and call a video here. There's a couple things I want to do in the next video. I'm going to go down to the Burbank, or whatever this is called. The complex down south of here. There's a bunch of trainers and some wild Pokemon we can fight, so I will save that for the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video and like to see more, please consider leaving a like on that video and subscribing to see my future uploads. And if you want to check out some more content from me, check down in the description. I have a list of playlists down there, as well as some of the videos you can check out if you want to see more from me. And until next time, this has been ZDS, making it for one video at a time, and I will see you guys in the next video.